Flourish family. Welcome back to the Financial Flourish podcast. I can hardly believe that this is the final episode of our Money Mindset Reboot Series. Over the past 9 weeks, we've had such a powerful journey together. We've talked about childhood money messages. Remember when we unpacked those toxic phrases like money doesn't grow on trees? Or we don't talk about money in this family? So many of you reached out saying, wow, I didn't even realize how much those words still live in my head as an adult. We also broke down hustle culture and how it tricks us into thinking our worth equals how hard we grind. That one hit home for me too, actually. Because let's be honest, how many of us have worked ourselves to exhaustion just to feel like we're doing enough? I know I have. I raised my hand. And from experience, I've worked in places where people stay at work way longer than the end time just to prove to their bosses that they were working long and hard. But the result was really not productive. The law of diminishing marginal return kicks in every time. Even though I see people wear this constant hustle like a badge of honor, when really it's probably just their nervous system stuck in survival mode. And throughout this series, we've had some amazing guest insight from our two psychiatrists reminding us that money stress isn't just about math. Sometimes it's our nervous system saying, I don't feel safe, or our past trauma whispering, you are not enough. If you've been with me through this whole journey, first of all, thank you. If you're just tuning in for this finale, don't worry, you can always go back and binge the season. Either way, I'm so glad you're here because today we're wrapping everything up and we're talking about how all of this ties into real financial freedom. Let's rewind for a second. This series had a flow, and if you stuck with me, you may not have noticed it, but we built layer by layer. I remember thinking, we've said this before, but it was just building on top of what we learned previously. We started with awareness. We asked, what stories about money did you inherit? For some of you, it was that constant fear of not having enough, a scarcity mindset. For others, it was overspending to keep up with the Joneses because you grew up with very little and never wanted to feel like that lack again. And I've seen this time and time again with persons spending what they don't have because they did not want to have that feeling that they had as a child. Then we moved into the reframe. We challenged those old stories. Remember when we talk about scarcity versus abundance? Scarcity says, I'll never have enough. Abundance says, what I have is enough and I can build from here. And the way we respond is very different based on our mindset. We didn't just stay in theory, we got practical. We pulled out the journals. We practiced affirmations and visualization. I know some of you laughed at first. Me talking to myself in the mirror about money? Like that doesn't even make sense. But guess what? There's science there. Our brains rewire with repetition. And then we zoomed out. We asked, how do we build sustainability? How do we create rhythm so that even when life gets messy, we don't spiral back into fear? That's the real key to rebooting your money mindset, making it stick. And if you're wondering, does this really work? Let me tell you. I've already heard from listeners who said, for the first time ever, I set a boundary with a family member who asked to borrow money. Or I actually checked my budget this week without feeling panic. That's what freedom looks like. It's not just about the numbers, it's about peace. One other listener said of the episode on emotional spending, this episode was awesome. The difference between well thought out purchases versus emotional spending is on point. Taking a minute to ask, do I need this? versus this purchase is well deserved. Keep it coming. Another listener said of the episode, rewriting your financial story, breaking up with limiting beliefs. I've been struggling with this one. Thanks for helping me. Hashtag flourish. And yet another listener said, I heard you on the Zoom meeting a couple of days ago, and I just wanted to say how happy I was to tune in and learn about financial flourish. I'm actually listening again as I write this message. Your words are so timely for me. I'm embarking on so many new things in my life, and while my finances had been struggling, I've made the decision that today marks a fresh start. I'm ready to build new, healthy money habits, and your podcast is exactly what I needed to hear. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom. It truly came at the right time. So, we thank these persons for letting us know what the podcast means to them. And we hope that you too will drop us a line and let us know exactly what the podcast means to you. Now, one thing that I am especially proud of in this series is how we tackle the mental health head on. I'll be real. For too long, money stress has been seen as just a budget problem, but it's not. It's a heart problem, it's a mind problem, it's sometimes even a trauma problem. That's why I was so grateful. Well, I am so grateful to have Dr. Kelly Singletary and Dr. Monique Upton join me so often. You remember when they explained how the brain works and some of these money issues that we have is science? You know how we get blamed for so many things that are not our fault? And here's the thing, it's not weakness to get help, it's wisdom. We hire trainers for our bodies, we hire coaches for our businesses. Why wouldn't we seek professional help for our mental health? If you've been listening and thinking, this is me, I keep panicking about money, I can't shake the anxiety, I'm stuck in the same patterns no matter what I try, please consider reaching out to a counselor or a psychiatrist. This podcast can give you tools, but a professional can walk with you to heal the deeper wounds. And that healing, that's part of financial freedom as well. You know, I can't finish the season without bringing it back to faith because the truth is, therapy and faith are not in competition, they are teammates. Proverbs 11:14 says, in the multitude of counselors, there is safety. So even God knows that wisdom comes from counsel. God cares about your money, He cares about your mental health, He cares about your peace. Choosing to seek help, choosing to build healthy habits, choosing to trust Him with your provision, all of it is part of being a good steward. And here's the freedom part. When you stop making decisions from fear and you start walking in faith, your whole financial life shifts. You stop chasing hustle just to prove yourself. You stop overspending just to feel worthy. You stop hiding from your bills because of shame. That's financial freedom. Not just a bigger bank account, but a lighter spirit, peace in your heart, confidence that you are worthy of abundance and rest. So let's get practical as we close. I want you to write down three things. One belief you're retiring. Maybe it's, I'll never get ahead, or I'm just bad with money. Write it, cross it out, replace it with a new truth. And this was one of these things that we did in one of the episodes. The second thing, write down one habit you're building. Maybe it's budgeting honestly. Maybe it's saving $10 a week. Maybe it's finally saying no when someone asks for money that you don't have. And thirdly, write down one support system you're committing to. This could be your faith family, your church, an accountability partner, or a mental health professional. And here's one last exercise. Grab your journal, write down how your relationship with money feels different since episode 1. What feels lighter? Where do you feel God's peace showing up? That's your progress report. That's your reboot in action. If you have not listened to the previous episodes, go back and listen so that you can answer these questions as well. So, as I close out season 2, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for sticking with me through this reboot journey. Thank you for doing the hard and the heart work. I want to thank our psychiatrists again, Dr. Kelly Singletary and Dr. Monique Upton, for bringing science, compassion, and wisdom to this conversation. Please connect with them on Instagram at Upsing Telepsych or at their website www.upsingtelepsychiatry.com. Now, here's what's next. We're taking a short 2-week break to rest, recharge, and prep for what's coming. And when we return, episodes will drop every other Tuesday instead of every Tuesday. This way, you'll have more time to process each episode and put it into action. And we will have more time to prepare so that we can continue to give you the excellent content that you have grown accustomed to. And I'm so excited to share season 3 with you. The theme is called Wealth in Action, Building Faith, Freedom, and Legacy. This next season is all about movement, not just shifting your mindset, but putting your money where your values are. We'll talk about earning with intention, saving and investing wisely, giving generously, protecting what you've built, and leaving a legacy for the next generation. So stay subscribed, mark your calendar, and get ready. Season 3 launches on September 9th. Remember this: you're more than your hustle. You're worthy of abundance. You're worthy of peace. You're worthy of rest. And when you align your mindset with your faith and your finances, you truly flourish. This has been Money Mindset Reboot on the Financial Flourish podcast. I cannot wait to see you step into wealth in action. Connect with us on Instagram @_financial flourish, or check out our website www.absoluteaccountingcpa.com/financial flourish. Subscribe so that you can be kept up to date with what we're doing and also to gain access to our free resources. Don't forget to find us on Spotify, Financial Flourish, and subscribe as well so that you can know what we're doing. So, ladies and gentlemen, until next time, walk in wisdom, rest in grace, and don't forget to flourish.